Everybody ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we are live. Hello and welcome to Talk Chef. I am one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And we have an incredibly funny special guest, Malin von Euler-Hogan. Hello, Malin.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks
we're
for
big
doing this
fans.
show. We love ya.
I love Malin. She's so funny, very funny performer and writer. And if you don't know, just an investigative reporter for the Bachelor franchise. Just can simply find out whatever piece of information you'd like to know. And she'll assert, I just looked at a Reddit post, but it goes deeper. I assure you it goes deeper. It's incredible.
Mom, can you tell us one shocking Bachelor or Bachelorette fact right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, this would be a spoiler. I was going to say, like, reporters who aren't me, just find people on Reddit have narrowed down like who the final two are for each of our two Bachelorettes this season, but I think that's too much of a spoiler. So
okay. Well, what can I ask? What was maybe the most shocking spoiler of a most recent season for you, or most shocking piece of information you found out? Even if it's not a spoiler, if it's just like this person's parents do this or whatever.
Oh, I don't know what would be considered shocking. Like, unfortunately, a lot of the spoilers that find out, it's like this person is cancelable for reason XYZ. It's a lot of that. And, like, that's often what you're Googling to find out. It's like, or it's like he has a girlfriend. He has 5 friends back home and like shouldn't be on the show.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like it's like a lot of the show is like, oh, it's fun, but it's also not, because there's a lot of trickery and cheating.
Sure.
Ultimately, there's so much trickery on this show. It's freaking crazy. Watch The Bachelor. This is ultimately an advertising for The Bachelor. Watch The Bachelor on ABC.
Yeah.
Wow. Thrilling. Well, before we dive in, Malin, we have like a couple little orders of business. Number one, you guys know this is a food charity-based live stream. We donate money to a food-based charity at the end of every season by doing this big fundraiser. It's really fun. Last season, we raised over $3,000 for farm workers' justice in just one evening. Let's see, can we beat it? I don't know. I feel like we can. I don't fucking know. So let's do it again at the end of this season.
I think we can. I heard this huge rumor that Elon Musk is going to be watching the finale, and if people donate, he'll also donate.
He'll match 1 cent on every $1,000 donated. So let's keep him honest.
I don't know.
A philanthropic king.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a nice, really rich person.
Weird. Anyway.
Sorry.
Incredible. So that's our first order of business. Second order of business, Malin, we actually didn't tell you, which is that just like every episode of Top Chef has a quick fire, so does every episode of Talk Chef.
It's true.
Not cooking related. It is all Malin preference related. And it is 45 seconds long, which is the fastest quick fire in all Top Chef history. 10 questions. And now, Malin, we know you. We kind of know maybe you're sort of like, fuck this, fuck the challenge, fuck Reka, fuck Jordan.
Yeah.
Just in case you need a little incentive, there are some prizes at stake here. So,
okay, I'm listening.
Okay, my ears are burning. You could win a deed to the Terlato wine vineyard. Jordan,
ever heard of it?
I've heard you mention on this show.
Yeah! We do not know what Terlato wine is, or where it is, or what it is, or who it is. But it is a type of wine that has sponsored Top Chef, and that Padma famously drank 2 episodes ago for the first time in a moment during restaurant work.
To say we were floored is an understatement.
Celebrity sighting.
Truly. Yeah. Padma drinking grape juice wine. Can only assume tastes like dirt. So you could win a deed to that vineyard located in, I don't know, the Bermuda Triangle, whatever.
Okay.
You could also win your own personal suite of broken GE appliances, just like you see on the show. So we're talking about an oven that doesn't get up to temp, a fryer that doesn't get up to temp, or a refrigerator whose door doesn't close. All of that could be yours.
Wow. Okay. I'm excited to play
Okay,
these
so
prizes.
now
Are
she's in. We saw that. Please note the huge flip, audience, from
yeah.
off to in now that there's prizes. So here we go.
Okay.
So Malin, I'm going to start a timer for 45 seconds for your 10 question quick fire. The moment Jordan finishes asking question 1. Are you ready?
Am.
All right. Malin,
Mhm.
who would you be most surprised by? Like, which person would be the most surprising if Reka and I right now were like, Malin, we're surprising you with this person? Who would be the most surprising?
Jeff Bezos.
What is the best seafood?
Oh God, I don't eat it. Okay. Crab.
What is the worst seafood?
No. Oh, I'll just say shrimp.
Hot seafood or cold seafood?
Cold.
If you were a creature in the ocean, what creature would you be?
Squid.
Which of your family members is the best cook?
Oh, mom.
What food would you want someone to make you?
Enchiladas.
Is food like comedy?
Yeah.
How?
I love it.
How great are Jordan and Reka?
The best.
You did it!
And Malin, not to tip your hand here, I hear you have some opinions about seafood. So perhaps this episode was maybe upsetting a little bit.
No, it's more just I laughed when I saw the description of what like the theme or the challenges would be this ep because well, is it time to get into it?
Let's
Please
get into it.
Okay. So I have always said that I have never had shellfish. But
Okay.
then today I was like, well, we want to be accurate on the show, the esteemed show.
On
So
this show, yes.
right, of course. So I was like, let's look up the definition of shellfish. And I realized I've been lying. I have never had any members of the mollusk category of shellfish. So I've had crab and lobster and shrimp, but I haven't had like scallops, oysters, like that range of things ever. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And it's yeah.
This is issuing an apology, like a note apology.
Well, it's because a number of people in my family are allergic to the mollusk family. And so I've always just been scared to try because to me, those dishes are a lot of like you're out to eat type of dishes. So it's not a great time to need to have an allergic reaction. So I've just never had them. And I'm sure that scallops are great and that I would love them, but I've just never wanted to take the risk. Yeah.
Wait, Malin, are you vegan?
I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat any of these things now, but yeah, but even even in my like meat and fish eating days, I never had mollusks.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I too have never had a mollusk. I've only in the seafood category, I've only had shrimp and some sort of mystery fish that a neighbor's dad gave me. And I think that's it.
Iconically, Reka one time had fish from a neighbor's dad.
My neighbor's dad gave me.
It actually is something we hear about.
I have no idea. It was honestly really good. I was like 3 or 4. I have no idea what fish it was at all. If anyone, Amy O'Neill, if you're in the chat, what did your dad give me?
Please let us know. We're dying to know.
We're dying to know. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing a big, like, I could never, well, Rika, you're a foodie. Like, I just feel like some people don't count. Like, I feel like Bourdain is like, was always kind of like, if you don't eat everything.
Absolutely. And here's my thing. I'll eat everything within the vegetarian vegan restriction. Give it to me. It's just hard to sort of go worldwide with that opinion sometimes because some places will be super meat heavy and that's fine. But it won't be as conducive to the vegetarian lifestyle. But then you got to remember there's some places that are veg heaven and that's just where I want to be.
That's true.
Veg heaven, baby.
Ooh, kill me in some of the veg heaven. And okay, Christine is pointing out I did actually forget to mention a teacher did make me eat salmon once. Yes, that's
right.
I didn't mean
What's
to
with
lie. people.
What's with these adults making you eat fish?
It's so funny in retrospect because it was in 4th grade and there was salmon at like a Native American like cultural event we did. And I put that in huge air quotes because I'm sure my elementary school in Connecticut was not really in the know.
Right.
And there was salmon and I didn't think it looked very good. And my teacher was like, try it. I was like, I don't know. Should I just try it? And I tried it. I was like, I hated this. It's so bad for me. But whatever. Gorgeous. We love this. Okay. Speaking of all this seafood, this quick fire made me laugh. It felt like a quick fire you'd give someone working at like at a hotel or something. It was like create a seafood tower of hot and cold dishes. Because I was just like, a seafood tower seems like a little like kitschy or corny to me, not like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
you are wrong. Seafood towers are awesome and they rule and they're for rich hotties and I love them.
Okay.
And I thought this challenge was awesome.
Okay. I love that for you.
Well, I was
What I
expecting.
will say.
Yeah.
Malin, I
You
think
were
you're going
expecting
to
a
say what
tower. You were thinking
we're
a
going to
tower.
have.
Yeah, like
That's my
the-
issue as well. Yes.
Yeah. We need like 4.
I think that maybe
Just
that was
2.
also my issue where it was like, it kind of made me laugh that it was like a seafood tower with 2 things on it. I'm like, okay, you're not asking them to make a seafood tower. You're asking them to make a hot seafood dish and a cold seafood dish.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a seafood duo, I think.
Yeah, with a twin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is the issue that I had with the challenge. I felt like it was bold to call it a seafood tower, but not even have them put those 2 dishes on a tower. I got excited when they first initiated it because I thought they were going to say, make a seafood tower. Something has to be hot, something has to be cold, but you got to make the full tower.
Yeah. Fill up this whole, it's like a
Yes.
vessel challenge, like fill up this whole vessel.
Here's the thing. Exactly. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then it's nice too, because I think you get a little bit more of an element of presentation. I think it feels more fun than just giving the judges 2 like, loose dishes.
And let's face it too, there's an amount of time that passes between when the chefs finish and when the judges eat it. They're probably both cold.
Absolutely.
Or in that sun, both hot. Because it was
That's true.
a sweaty day.
A nice hot oyster.
Yeah.
This is bringing me back in season 13, one of the most annoying contestants that's ever been on the show.
Yeah.
Philip there's a challenge where they have to make seafood dishes in the desert, and he makes an oyster that he serves on a rock, and it like sits out in the sun and it's like not on ice, and Padma says it tastes like snot on a rock. So that's
disgusting.
Don't think about.
I do just want to point out that Elaine said, I had amazing oysters in New Orleans at a place Jordan recommended. So I just want everyone to know that.
Oh, it's interesting that that's the comment you wanted to put.
Well, Rika, I didn't even know. I was going to pick a random comment and read
Someone
it out
says I have
loud.
really good taste and know all the good
Wait a minute. Okay.
places. A lot of that.
Rika, cute?
Yeah, I was just picking a random comment and that's what I read out loud. But I am excited that Elaine went to the restaurants I recommended.
That's beautiful, Elaine. We're so glad that you liked it. Gorgeous. Okay, so yeah, the specific thing in this challenge is like seafood tower, hot and cold dishes. Here is what people made. Mom, we usually just give like a quick thumbs up, thumbs down based on literally any criteria in the world. Does it sound like a Top Chef dish? Does it sound good to you? I like you have never had any of these things, so it's purely based on fantasy.
Okay.
What do I think an oyster tastes like? I have an idea, but who knows? So Nick's cold dish was oysters with watermelon mignonette. That sounds good to me.
Refreshing.
Then his hot dish was an orzo salad with grilled shrimp and mango chili vinaigrette. This sounded good too. I'll say the orzo I for sure was like, oh, this orzo is going to be raw. It looked like seeds to me, but nobody said it. So that is a lesson. Don't judge orzo by its cover. It could be cut.
Yeah, they set up that to be drama. It won't audition time, but then it seemed like it did.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Ashley's cold dish was Gulf oysters with country ham and kanzuri barbecue sauce. Now, oysters with ham, I don't know. Something isn't sitting right for me, but I'm so willing to be wrong. Jordan, do you want to talk about what you feel?
Yeah, I'm sure it was incredible with oysters. You know, oysters are salty, ham is salty, but ham's kind of smoky, and oysters are kind of clean. So I think they would be similar but complement each other. And it's not, you know, it's not deli ham.
Deli ham. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. Well, Ashley's hot dish was peel and eat jerk shrimp. That sounds good to me.
But I need to bring something up.
Wait, tell me, what'd you say, Malin?
Oh, sorry. I'm going thumbs down just for the labor involved with the peel and eat.
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Like the sort of
dirty, messy fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Labor costs money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pay me.
There better be a $5.
Baby, here's my Venmo. Pay me.
Yeah. Wait, but this does bring me to an important question. She used a jerk paste to make these shrimp. Thoughts?
So the idea being that she should make her own jerk seasoning.
I don't know. I'm just wondering because she used a jar of jerk paste that I recognize. It like seems like she's using it from a jar, but then I recognize that I've used that jar of jerk paste before. It's very good, but it does seem a little bit like if I were to be like, oh, I'm making tom yum soup and I'm using a tom yum soup base from a Thai grocery store. I'm not saying that that's wrong.
Right.
I just don't know. I'm like, is that allowed? Because jerk paste,
yes,
theoretically is not something that takes longer than putting it together any other sauce, right?
Kind of almost like a Bisquick thing. Can you use a waffle mix or pancake mix? It's literally just the ingredients pre-mixed for you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Pre-mixed for you. Are you allowed to use it? Hi. Sean is also pointing out, this is interesting. So, Malin, if you remember from the couple seasons you did see of Top Chef, sometimes people are allowed to bring like a special ingredient, and it's like, depending on what it is, like sometimes it's like a singular ingredient, like, oh, I brought this whatever fucking olive oil or something that I love to, whatever. And then something like this is also something people might bring, and it's like, that is interesting. This sort of toes the line of like something you could make but also could bring. Simply interesting. I agree.
Yeah. I guess I'm just like, the ingredients that you should be allowed to bring from home for me are like a specific kind of salt, a certain kind of dried chili, whatever, like things like that, where I'm like, that's not, I mean, that's an ingredient. That's not something about like an amalgamation of ingredients starts to feel to me a little bit like, I don't know.
I get it.
That's ultimately like the entire dish that add protein. So it's a little, I see what you're saying. There should be more involved.
Yeah, because if it was with the Bisquick thing, I'm like, okay, let's say you're doing something but it has like a bunch of components and you're just using Bisquick as like a small thing, but you're doing a lot to it. I'm like, to make jerk shrimp with a jerk paste, I'm like, the namesake of the dish you're not making. It's kind of like when they're like, oh, I made this kind of sausage. Yeah. And they didn't make the sausage. They didn't make the bun. They just took a bun and took a sausage and then put toppings on it. I don't know.
It's simply interesting. That actually might be a cool little thing for us to keep flagging. Like, what are these special ingredients?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's something. I just think it's. I'm not saying I think it's wrong. I just think it's something to think about.
I can tell you're pissed.
I'm furious.
Yeah. Okay. Buddha made for his cold dish jumbo shrimp with an XO cocktail. That sounds great to me. I like shrimp cocktail when I ate shrimp. Same. Gorgeous. Shrimp does feel like sort of a gateway shellfish or gateway seafood or whatever.
It's like a fun like kid food as well. Yeah. It's like a little handle for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Like a dunkaroo.
God made shrimp.
Yeah. God made shrimp. Thank you.
I'm just screaming over here about shrimp. I love it.
God made nothing else, but God made shrimp.
And on the seventh day, God
made shrimp. And shrimp
That's was born
from Adam's rib. Yeah. And Jordan from the shrimp. Yeah. Buddha for his hot dish made soft shell takoyaki. This looked good. It's like one of those pictures where if you look at it, you're kind of like, I can't tell what's what, but it looked good.
Yeah.
Is that the one? I feel like Padma had a hard time eating that one.
A little bit. I think
That one, it was
in like a tiny bowl.
yeah.
See, this is another thing, like seafood tower. That doesn't really sit on you have to put it in a bowl on the tower. Whatever. Who am I? Okay. Tamar for his cold dish made Gulf oyster with peach and tamari vinaigrette and Thai chili. That sounds good.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Big old peach. Okay. Tamar for his hot dish made seared shrimp with shrimp and crab XO sauce. That sounds awesome.
Incredible.
And then Sarah, by the way, who's back in the competition. So
Shocking.
Sarah, for those who haven't been following, Sarah was eliminated maybe in episode 3 or 4 and got through so many rounds of Last Chance Kitchen, just truly on fire, and made her way back into the competition, which is awesome. And maybe a little surprising just because when someone gets eliminated early, you don't really see what they could do. And then you see all these other people that get out later than them and you're like, they're going to be back. And she crushed them. So that's awesome. Good for her.
I will say I'm annoyed that she kept talking about Last Chance Kitchen. I was like, I don't care.
I mean, you know, she didn't have much stuff to talk about from being on Top Chef. This is like her 3rd episode. But
I guess so.
When she came back, she said something like, I know you guys aren't happy to see me or something. Yeah. And I was like, was there bad vibes when she was there before?
No.
Or is it just like they wouldn't want anyone back?
Yeah, I think they don't want anyone.
Be a final 5.
Yeah,
I think that felt like big downer energy. And then she was like, oh, well, I miss the Last Chance Kitchen because this is different. I don't know if I'm going to be good at this. And I'm like, okay, then why did you even come back? If we're already going to be being like this.
Right.
Stay
and
home.
Last Chance Kitchen, as we learned, is really fucking intense. You basically do because it's all the eliminated chefs competing against each other, kind of in a bracket. So it's like person one who gets eliminated in episode 1 competing with person who gets eliminated in episode 2, then whoever wins goes with the next person eliminated, and then whoever wins goes with the next person, etc. But that all happens in like 2 days. They basically like round you up and make you do all that at once. Oh no, Marlon got pissed.
Oh my God.
Marlon, your camera turned off for a little bit. It's a little choppy. But that's
I can't see you guys.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Can you hear us?
Oh.
Wait, now I can.
Okay, gorgeous.
Okay, you're back.
We are just explaining the intricacies of Last Chance Kitchen, something everybody likes to hear about. It's just crazy. You do that all in like 2 fucking days. You're kind of just like on one for 48 hours. So I can sort of get where she's coming from, but it must be really crazy to get eliminated really early on. Like this happened with George in season freaking Boston season.
Yeah.
Season 12.
And we like George, right?
George is fine, yeah. He was eliminated in episode 1 and then by chance kind of got back into the show. So everyone was like, we don't know if he's good or bad. He got out in episode 1. And then he got to the top like 4, which is crazy. Bing bong bang. Okay, so Sarah for her cold dish made dill pickled shrimp with togarashi and sesame. Jordan, I know dill pickled shrimp. I know you.
Dill pickled shrimp. That's my baby's name.
I know you like that.
I love that.
For Sarah's hot dish, she made hot buttered oysters with breadcrumbs and peach relish.
Yum.
Sounds okay. I don't really know what it means. Tell us, Malin. Go off.
Malin, go.
Go off.
I in general, I haven't been just in general, I feel like the texture of oysters I'm iffy on. And so that plus a grainy thing with breadcrumb just felt to me like, oh, maybe not.
That
But
makes
it's
sense.
Based on nothing. I've never had this food. I'm trying to be interesting.
I've never.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize. This show, the entire show is based off nothing.
Literally. The new Seinfeld, they call it.
If just watching, just what's coming from it. I don't know anything. You're very talented.
Well, let me ask this: Is hot oysters good?
Yes, Rika, thank you so much for asking. Hot oysters is good. It depends on how you don't want a cold oyster hot, but a cooked oyster is good. So like oyster stew, or my personal favorite preparation of oysters, which is the charboiled oyster, which is an oyster that they top with garlic and lemon and butter and Parmesan cheese, and they charboil it over an open flame. That's a good hot oyster. Fried oyster, good. Oysters Rockefeller, good. You just don't want a cold oyster to no longer be cold, because that's a raw oyster.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. I'm here as our resident seafood expert.
Okay, good. Our resident seafood tower, Jordan.
Yeah.
Evelyn, for her cold dish, made oysters with fish sauce, vinaigrette, chili oil, and crispy shallots. I'll probably eat crispy shallots off of whatever.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then Evelyn, for her hot dish, made Thai Cajun boil with Thai chili butter and lime. And there's a
delicious.
That sounds pretty good.
Yum.
And then this is a picture of Sassy. Cool. Okay, definitely took like 10 pictures of Sassy's between these dishes. Okay, cool. So now on the bottom of this quickfire was Buddha and Sarah, and on top was Ashley, Nick, and Evelyn. Strangely, somehow, I have neglected to write down who won this quickfire. That's fucked up. Who won?
Rika, are you for real?
Get out of here, Jordan. Was it Nick?
I thought Evelyn.
Okay.
No, yes, it was Evelyn. They liked her the best.
Okay. I didn't write it down, so I was going up.
No, I love that. Listen, guys, nobody's freaking perfect. Okay, so I know you guys kind of thought I was. I read the comments, but sadly, I'm not. Okay, winner is Evelyn. And I love that. Evelyn's fucking crushing this whole season.
Yeah, Elaine in the chat knows.
Yes, these are all good people. We got our stenographers here. I love that.
Oh, yes, extra half hour. Yes. Okay, that's how we know.
That's true. Oh my God, you're
really.
So yes. Right. Extra half hour. Duh. Extra half hour.
Of course.
Okay, so for the elimination challenge, they were challenged to make a family-style dish catered to a different family member on vacation in Galveston. Now, our season's top chef heads know this is probably not some random family. It's either A, like the fucking Obamas or something, and it's like an important family, or it is going to be like a personal challenge, or it's like secretly all of their family members. And
unfortunately, Reka, I did think this was going to be random people. Can you believe that I fell for that?
No, it's okay. And I actually like that. It's kind of like you still believe in Santa, and I think that's beautiful. And anyway, it's like the magic of Top Chef can still happen. That's nice.
It's exactly like that.
I knew it was family. And I don't even watch the show, but I've been watching like a decent amount of Survivor.
You're good at reality TV.
Yeah. They love to force these like emotional moments on us. Yes. And they work. They're great.
Exactly. Now, if they had wanted to do it with like a famous family, who do we think would be like kind of the funniest famous family to pick?
Well, I was thinking maybe it would be because Holland Taylor is in that show about Anne Richards.
I thought it was going to be the Richards.
I was like, no, I thought maybe it was going to be Holland Taylor and Sarah Paulson and they're like friends. I was like, that could be a famous family. I don't know. A modern family. Anyone can be a
cast of Modern Family.
The cast of Modern Family.
Brought the cast of Modern Family on.
Phil Dunphy's palette.
I like cereal. That would be so funny. They bring fucking young Sheldon family. Awesome.
Who's like a famous Texas family? Like they probably does Bravo
Beyonce.
Yes,
Beyonce.
Who's like 6 family members. So maybe you want like
6.
But you know what? We could bring in a sister,
a cousin. We could have a cool grandpa, something. If you have,
oh my God, what if it had been the Kardashians?
I thought about that. That would make me ill. That would be very insane. to make
That would be
the
insane.
Kardashians. Imagine what their freaking riders would have been or whatever.
It would be, if the Kardashians get to be on Top Chef before you and I do, Reka,
sick.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Also, I don't think they're going to Galveston and pretending to stay in a Verbo.
Who knows?
Yeah, in a Verbo. You don't think the Kardashians use Verbo? Gorgeous product placement for Verbo in this episode.
So funny.
Love to advertise a Verbo kitchen that is clearly too small to use for this challenge.
You know, I was hoping I would win a Verbo something in the quick challenge earlier, but
you win unlimited Verbo. Yeah, so surprise, surprise, it ends up being secret family members. So Nick gets his mom. I thought it was so funny when he read like the dossier. He's like, this person doesn't make any sense. I've never met this person. And it's his mom. Evelyn gets her dad. Ashley gets her mom. Buddha gets his wife. Damar gets his mentor. And Sarah gets her sister. So that's all exciting stuff. And here's the stuff they made. Nick made a seafood herb pasta, crab velouté, smoked pork crumble on top. This looked good. I know that people, didn't end up being the best, but I do think making pasta salad. This is where I'm like, it looked good, but like pasta salad essentially, or like I don't know. Is this your winning dish, Nick? Nick has been like on fire the whole season.
Yes.
So ultimately we must wonder. Evelyn made crispy red snapper with sweet vinegar, sticky coconut rice, and pickled chilies.
Yum.
This looks great to me. And it was served in a little banana leaf. Buddha made marry me pasta is what he called it. It's pasta amatriciana. Nobody correct me on that. I did it right.
No, that was.
Thank you. This looked like just kind of pasta I could make, but I'm sure it was awesome. So again, I went, but I'm sure it was great. Ashley made paella inspired heirloom rice with red shrimp and calamari. Now, when I hear paella inspired, I go two directions. I go, ooh, and then I go, oh no, this is gonna taste like shit. Oh no,
yeah,
dry because you says inspired, and so then you just put spice. I don't know, something about it. It looks good, but I wonder.
Yes, I feel that.
Okay. Does anyone care? No one has to. Damar made herb bread crusted redfish, little neck clams, white beans with, I'm going to say this wrong, Nduga, Nduja.
And I think they're saying Nduja, like the J, like a Y sound.
Yes, I love that. Nduja and pineapple. If I'm wrong about that, you can correct me in the chat. But don't correct me on my Italian. That was actually good. This looked nice. I guess like none of this reeked of family style except the pot. I guess like pastas is family style, but like I know they served it family style. It's just like some of these look very like plated.
Yeah,
I agree.
My little brain. Sarah made tuna tataki with crispy ramen noodles and peanut dressing. That sounds good. Again, it's sort of like
boring.
It's like whatever. You said boring, Malin?
I said
Jordan did, but yeah, I agree.
It's a little like, I don't know, it feels a little like soulless of just like, this is the dish you make in honor of your family member. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, they all seem to have Sarah in particular seemed worried that her sister was going to be like, I hate this. So I was wondering if there was going to be some element of that where like her sister, who sounds like a piece of work, would like throw her under the bus or something. She'd make something she would like. They seemed weirdly worried about impressing making something that the family member would like. Whereas I would hope that a family member of mine had to join me on a show like this. They would lie. They would say whatever I made was perfect.
Absolutely.
I feel like if I was brought on the show, even for a person I hate, and it was like, what do you think? I would be like, I gotta be at least kind of nice, right?
Yeah. It's like, it is just interesting. It's simply interesting. I liked, do we like this challenge before I get to judges table?
I guess it was fine. It felt again like all the challenges have felt where it's like, hey, do whatever you want. See you later. And then it's boring. That's what it feels like to me. That's what this whole season for the most part has felt like to me.
I wonder if it was less like based on the restrictions of a family member and more like they do this challenge a lot, but hey, they're repeating tons of challenges. Like, we brought some special guests. Here's your family members. And it's like, make a dish inspired by this person rather than like kind of a weird rider of their likes and dislikes a little bit. I know it's like just a slight difference, but like, I don't know. What do you think, Malin?
Yeah, that pitch is interesting. I feel like chefs are kind of masters at like bullshitting a story. And so that really would probably just be a way for them to make whatever they want and be like, the warm, flavorful spices remind me of my sister and her temper because he's crazy, like
exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But so like, Jordan, what are you proposing as like, what have they in the past liked better that's like just more restrictions on them?
Yeah, I think I like something that feels like more of a challenge. And also, like, I'm fine with some of the challenges being like, hey, do whatever you want. But this season, it feels like every single one of them has been like that. Yeah. So I want stuff where it's like, you're on a boat. This boat is owned by an old sea captain. You have to make dinner with whatever he has in the pantry. Or like even just dumb stuff where it's like
bones.
Yes, exactly. Or even just dumb stuff where it's like, you each get a color. You have to make a dish that's totally purple, and you have to make a dish that's totally green, or like whatever. Just like stuff like that, where it does feel like more of a specific thing, and not just like, hey, your challenge is that Dionne Warwick wants to eat something that tastes good. You have 6 hours and $5,000 to make one dish for Dionne Warwick. It's like, so just make like a good dish that a chef would. It feels like they're doing a lot of like almost like personal private chefing and not as much like real Top Chef challenge cooking for the most part.
Yeah. It just didn't seem like an inspired challenge. I think you said it earlier, Jordan, of just like they'll kind of tee up something that could be interesting, but it doesn't seem like lately the chefs are super inspired by any of these challenges because they're kind of making just like whatever things. And I mean, famously, we must simply bring up, I think this is the second time only in the entire series that I've seen Padma spit something out.
I wanted to talk about that moment. Yeah, crazy. Because Paul Hollywood loves to spit stuff out on British Bake Off when it's undercooked, and it's so funny because I'm a raw batter eater just constantly. So for the idea that he's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah. And Paul, if we're really going there, if we're really talking about Paul Hollywood, sometimes, that man is a true menace to the show. I think he makes people scared to bake. I think he's made me scared to make bread, which is rude and is offensive to me. And he'll do things that drive me fucking crazy. So like, I can't tell what level of doneness he will eat. Because sometimes something he's like, that doesn't look too cooked, and I'll eat it. And then he'll sometimes be like, that doesn't look cooked, I'm not going to eat it, mate. I'd rather have a stomach or whatever.
Yeah, how dare you poison me?
Yeah, and then I'll see him fucking suck a whole caramel egg down his throat without chewing. And I'm like, you are out of your gourd, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, yeah. So this undercooked squid, Padma spits it out. The only other time I've ever seen her do that is in season 5, when Ariane makes that lemon meringue like parfait, and it's got like a bajillion grams of sugar in it, and Padma spits it into her napkin.
She just didn't like it. It wasn't like,
she just said it was like, she was like, that was so sweet. It like,
oh wow, I think that's so rude.
It feels like the biggest thing, like the biggest reasons that they spit things out are too sweet or too salty.
Yeah.
Is I feel like why typically we see stuff get spit out.
Yeah.
That just really feels like the ultimate tipping of the hand of like who's going home, because it's like only one of you made a dish that was inedible.
Well, I could not swallow.
Yeah.
Really.
Everything else I could choke
Absolutely.
down.
Yeah.
So we were sending Ashley home.
Yeah, can you imagine if you didn't go, or if someone didn't go home and you went home, and it's like you couldn't even
Right.
you're tasting the garnish it, like the shit around her unedible thing was better than my thing.
Yes, there's no world in which that's a thing that would happen.
Yeah.
So was the move there for Ashley just she should have tasted it and then been like, oops, uncooked, left it off?
Yes, and like taken it out or just like pivoted or something. A lot of times the chefs under pressure will taste their components but never taste it as an entire dish. And I feel she was perhaps victim to this common thing, which sucks. So on top at judges table, we get Evelyn, Buddha, and Damar. Our winner is Buddha. And then on the bottom, we get Ashley, Nick, and Sarah. And as we just said, Ashley was eliminated. And she was pretty up and down the whole season. She won Restaurant Wars, which is awesome, but she was eliminated earlier, but then she got back in Last Chance Kitchen and da-da-da-da. So it wasn't entirely unexpected, but bummer.
I liked her. I liked her mom too.
Oh my God. I mean, when they bring the family members, it's always so freaking adorable. Because I was talking to Jessica Ross about this, and like, no one in my family is like camera ready. Like, they're not interested in being on camera. They're not interested in talking on camera. So it's so funny how like kind of quick they all sort of take to it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know who you're bringing from my family that's like not totally odd in front of
Yeah, I feel like Buddha's wife was very like, thank you for having us, Padma. Just very like, let me be on camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So funny. Oh my God, I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry. I forgot to bring up the insane, I even like made a note. I'm like, do not forget to bring stuff. At judges table, they start judges table and there is such a severe thunderstorm and wind that they then stop. All the judges go inside because it starts to pour rain like a couple minutes into judges table, and then they relocate to a tiny table inside. That has never happened before.
That was so interesting because they show the judges being like, oh, I guess we'll arrange the set, and it's
I know, as
moving cameras, someone else like just, if this is a union show, someone else has to do that. Like
they all went to their trailers and drank tea and came back an hour later, all like coiffed and beautiful for that.
Yeah,
setup, unbelievable. So funny, so funny. Wild. Well, what do we think of this episode? Did we like? Did we hate? Was it neutral?
It was whatever. I'm sad that Ashley went home, but it did kind of feel like her time. I feel like she's struggled a little bit, and I think maybe this competition isn't the best format for her cooking talent and skills to come through.
Yes. I think I love cooking. I in no way wish to be on a reality TV cooking show.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, like Ashley just seemed a little like she never found like a total groove.
Yes.
There's an argument for like the timed element, right? Because a chef has to work under like pressure and get dishes out on time in like a restaurant or any setting, I guess. But it does like lend, I don't know, just hampers people's like actual ability in a way that's sometimes frustrating to see. Because obviously with like ample time, she would have, I don't know, thrown it back on the grill and like cooked it properly. It's always frustrating when it's like, it wasn't like that conceptually these flavors didn't work or it was a bad idea for it. Right. It's just like the execution didn't have enough time to be done. That's not to keep bringing up another show, but that's always so frustrating about Great British Bake Off as well, because like these are fake limits on people's talent. And so are we really determining who is the top chef? You're determining who's the top, reality
who can make a tall cake in 4 hours? Like,
yeah,
absolutely. And I think there are things too where it's like, you're not thinking about like, you're not sleeping at home, you're living with a bunch of people, you're being on camera.
You don't have a phone. You can't
you
can't read.
Yeah, I think there's so many more things that go into it that people don't really think about.
Totally.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a sense of like how much the producers are like pulling them to the side mid cook? Because I was seeing with like Sarah who kept bringing up Last Chance Kitchen or whatever. I'm sure the producers are constantly like, just from the Bachelor world, which I'm more familiar with, they're feeding narratives. So they're like, Sarah, does this feel different than when you were on Last Chance Kitchen? So she's being forced to like bring it up over and over. She's being reminded, oh, I'm a failure from before. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not positive. I think this show is definitely better than other shows about like being about cooking, like being about the thing it's ostensibly about. But I'm sure there's so much hidden producer hand. Like one thing you'll always notice, like it'll be like someone's cooking and they're like, Tom, what are you making over there? I'm making this. It's like, this is a forced conversation. This is like, the producer's like, okay, be sure to constantly ask each other what each other is doing, because we will not include our voices, but we want you to narrate what you're doing. And so, and so you'll see the busiest person in the world. Sarah, what's that over there? I'm really curious.
Yeah, I also think most chefs like don't speak at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think most chefs are not like chatty people in general. And that's why it's always so funny. We'll have these people on that like had such big personalities on the show, and then we have them on and they're like, hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just like really quiet.
This casting seemed like really good to me. Like everyone seemed pretty like comfy on camera, at least this final 6. And like like Evelyn has a great personality for TV, I think. Like she's awesome.
I agree. And I think as the seasons go on, you see so many changes, but like people are more savvy on camera, not in a gross way, but just like they're friendly and they're fun. Everyone's nicer to each other. And I don't know if that's an evolution of better casting, where you're casting people that are just like nicer and not for drama, you know? If it's a marker of like social media and knowing like this is kind of a job interview. I'm on this TV show that has national appeal. I look like an asshole, you know?
Absolutely. I think people too, it's like now that people have seen the episode so much, they know kind of what they're looking for. So I think people that like, I think there's a lot of people who are self-aware enough to be like, I shouldn't and don't want to be on a TV show.
Yes. Yes. And that, yes. And I relate to that. I don't, going on a reality TV show. I love to play the game. Like, how far do you think you get in The Bachelor? Or like, or like, would you ever be the Bachelorette? What would you do? What would you want to do on all your dates, even though they don't let you put any of your interests in the date?
Right.
Even though I'd never. Actually, wait, let's play that. Malin, if you were the Bachelorette and you got to do one of their classic group dates where it's some interest you may or may not tangentially have, it'll be like, you know, love is tough. So I want to see how tough you guys get with my favorite sport, rugby or whatever.
Yeah.
What would be one of your like group dates?
Well, the like obvious one for all of us would be some sort of like improv challenge, which would
awful,
absolutely suck. But to differentiate it a little bit, I feel like because I'm like old, way too old to like be there now. But it's funny whenever they're talking about like their high school identities or whatever. So it feels very silly for me at my age to be talking about this. But I feel like they'd be like, Malin they'd want to make me sound cool, but they'd be like, Malin was on the math team in high school. So like they'll do like a classroom like math competition, like
and
math
they'll ask them to like multiply 7 times 3, and 18 of them will get it wrong.
Yes, yes, because they love to make their cast look stupid as hell.
Yeah, I think too that Malin would be really like, they would paint you really like you're really hot, and then you'd be wearing like a really sexy you are really hot, period. You are really hot, period. But I think they would do you up like really sexy, and then they would have you the whole time be like, I'm kind of a nerd, like that type of thing.
Absolutely. You would be the only bachelorette allowed to wear glasses or whatever. Like,
absolutely.
Put math problems on a board in like some fucking stupid outfit with an apple on the desk or whatever the fuck. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Ugh. So but it would never happen. Redheads like make it past, at least on Colton season, made it pretty far, but otherwise there's very few redheads that even get cast, and most of them are night oneers. So
Wow. Okay. Everyone kind of think about that is the thing.
yeah,
Everyone
it's
kind of,
it's redheads and all the people of color. The show does
no,
not like us.
they don't like that on The Bachelor. It's so funny. Are we just talking about a different reality show? But I love
Yes, sorry to the chat.
So, you know what? Actually, so like the 2 seasons ago, what fucking season was it? Was it Katie? There were like 18 food dates in a row where it was like, oh no, it was Bachelor in Paradise, wasn't it? It was like make churros out of each other's
Yes.
bodies and then make sundaes out of each other's bodies. Like,
Oh,
damn,
yeah.
the producers are tired. They don't know what
You know
to-
those
Yeah.
viral TikToks that I think are like fetish stuff where
They
it's like,
are, yes.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about.
it was like that, but on human bodies for Bachelor in Paradise. It was just like put every ingredient that could be considered like nacho friendly on this person's body and now eat it off of them. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow, disgusting. Well, Malin, if people want to see and hear more from you, where should they go?
Well, they are welcome to check out my Twitter or my Instagram, both of which are Malin_VEH. So don't worry about spelling my name. But yeah, I'm on there and I'll post about any upcoming things I have. And yeah.
I love that. Well, oh, there's actually a Bravo producer in here. What's that? The hell?
What is
Really?
Reka? Reka,
That's
come
what I
on.
thought, but
Dish, Reka.
oh my God. Okay, guys, a Bravo producer just popped in here and told me, Malin, you are Top Chef.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. A lot of people actually don't know this, but there's 2 ways to become a top chef. And one of them is to be on the reality cooking competition show Top Chef
Oh my
and
God.
win. And the second way is to be a guest on this live stream YouTube talk show for charity hosted by me and Reka.
Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I didn't know there was like a backdoor way.
There's a back door.
This is
Either-
nuts.
Either way, an Indian woman will tell you are Top Chef. So that's ultimately sort of the big crossover between us. That's like the Venn diagram.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
You're my Pat, Jordan. You are my Tom.
Tom, say it. I'm the Tom. We all
Sorry, it was the
know.
only other one I could remember. No,
I-
Gail. You're my Tom
No.
Dale.
I'm not
Wow.
the Gail. It's very generous of you, but unfortunately, I'm not the Gail. I am the Tom.
No.
I have big daddy energy. What can I say?
No, Jordan, we found out from one of the Top Chef contestants that Tom does not wear socks.
That's true. And
Any
I
of
love to
his-
not wear socks too. Not in the way that he does. I couldn't wear a shoe that needs socks without socks because my feet get too sweaty.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. He's in a kitchen. It feels like,
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to him. Don't worry, I'm gonna talk to him.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror, yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him.
Okay, whoa. Malin, in case you ever start a Bachelor podcast for goss and opinions, Sean is a podcast editor and says, hit Sean up.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. I'll do that.
Okay.
Incredible. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This season is so fun. We're wrapping up. What we got like 5 more chef testants. Exciting to wrap up.
Wild.
Pretty cool. So just keep staying tuned and we'll catch you next week.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.